Good evening, everyone, and hello, everyone. I've been tormenting, killing my students with English grammar, teaching English grammar for more than 3 decades, and I cannot really say I'm very popular with doing that job. In fact, I brought you proof. I would like to position here up front, and I know because it's not visible, it reads, Teacher, Public Enemy number 1. Yes. An average school year in Romania lasts for about 35 weeks. And if you know that in theory there are 2 English classes a week, that amounts to more than 800 classes by the time students graduate. To put it simply in Romanian, they take the buck. And still it might happen that when they come to university level, not all of them can formulate correctly sentences regarding negatives or interrogative forms. Yet, there is a special type of student, the ones who are already awake at this hour, but definitely sleeping early in the morning in the desks. I call them overnight students who burn the midnight oil playing video games, binge-watching movies, listening to various podcasts on YouTube or all over. Their English is pretty good. They are very fluent. Actually use words teachers don't understand. And I'm not talking about them, but anything they do outside the classroom, I call it off-the-record English, which is basically the title of my presentation. This would be a nice gesture to have a remote control. Thank you. And I remember very well that teachers typically have to lose a battle because institutionalized education is doomed to failure. It starts on the wrong foot, and it's not me who says that. It's one of the most reputable TED speakers, Sir Ken Robinson, who says that education overall is both outdated and irrelevant. And if I may add, we have a specific Romanian taste added to this one, and that is the aim of perfection we would like to achieve. And I have some proof here. Sorry, not this one. The other one, yes, okay. Yes, that's a typical teacher gesture, just to check if you are following me. Okay, so that's the title, you know it by now. And that's the title of the book I am talking about. You can imagine how encouraging this title is, English with Tears, and it does have a subtitle, English Grammar Made Difficult. If you don't believe me, I can show you the book cover. That was the book that killed me and probably many of you before entering university. In the meantime, I managed to get a signature by one of the professors, dear Bill Stanciu. But I still have nightmares about this book. I still can't solve 100% correctly all the exercises included because it contains a lot of literature fragments. I'm more than sure that only Shakespeare, Jane Austen, or James Joyce would enjoy. Right now, I think it was a good book to distill, to filter the students who wanted to get to university level. If we move on, we have some interesting research that tries to demonstrate that how we get to that level of perfection. We have a theoretical 10,000 hours, which means that if you want to be an expert in a very narrow field, you start from scratch. Now, of course, to put it simply, because I'm not a mathematician and I really hate numbers this big, I would say that this means 5 years of work means full-time job, that means 40 hours a week, and those 5 years, pure and simply, we don't have just for studying a foreign language. However, there are some really bad news. The news is bad if we consider the speech of a neuroscientist who proves that pure and simply, there are cases when the 10,000 hours are far not enough to get to that level. And what is even worse, we know that we still cannot find a way to learn something very, very effectively. It's too personal. Of course, I have some good news as well, otherwise I would finish my speech very quickly. I can say that there are some people who pure and simply can learn something very well, even in fewer than 10,000 hours, on the one hand. And I would like to mention probably the most optimistic TED speaker, who considers that if you are grossly incompetent in anything and you would like to get to a level where you are relatively acceptable, it takes only 20 hours. To put it differently, this means 45 minutes per day over a period of 1 month. Now that's very encouraging indeed. But if you move further, I am supposed to know what is the situation of English in Romania. And believe me, there is an English proficiency index, according to which, of course, Scandinavian countries are in the top, but Romania closely follows, and I would really like to believe those stats. In order to do that, we have to check what we have in our textbooks. And typically in Eastern Europe, we have Oxford and Cambridge publications written by highly educated native writers who write what non-native speakers should know. This was one of the most difficult sentences. And according to which they organize beautiful communicative units such as culture, hobbies, environment, and of course weather. After all, they are British publications. And of course, they have recordings from native British speakers, and from time to time they spice it with non-native speakers of English. When my students listen to those recordings, some of them are absolutely enthusiastic. Well, I speak the same way, while others, you can see the shock in their eyes. This can't happen to me. Yes, my favorite part of textbooks is grammar. I don't know if you recognize the lady, but we teach past simple. Probably you all know it. When we start the conjugation, we say, I was, you were. And everybody's happy with that, especially when they listen to Gwen Stefani's if I was a rich girl. And we are very happy with that. Then we listen to Pink Floyd, The Wall. No, not that phrase everybody knows. I'm focusing on Wish You Were Here, and the Pink Floyd version, not the Rednecks version. Then I'm sure that however much you enjoy Beyoncé, she would definitely fail a 5th grade test because she sings, If I Were a Boy. That's right. Now, at this stage, we don't know, but trust me, she is correct, at least in English. But then we have Kyle Hume, who won't ever pass during any of my exams, with his most popular song entitled, If I Would Have Known. Because I think if I had had the chance, I would have gone to a Queen concert a long time ago. The next stage is really interesting, because if they want to represent non-native speakers in American movies, they have sentences like, he lie, she cry. And we don't know at that moment whether this is present simple, present continuous, past simple, past continuous, but it's creative and fun, and it's really challenging to find out what's going on in the movie. The next level is when teachers of English say, don't ever use double negative. For instance, I don't know anything would be the correct sentence, until we watch Breaking Bad with the statement, I don't know nothing. To make matters worse, sometimes we listen to songs, although it's an old one, probably it's a very famous one, when the Rolling Stones sings, "I can't get no satisfaction." That's all about double negative. If we move on, there are some cases when teachers say the correct way to use questions would be, "It's nice, isn't it?" And everything is ruined by American actors who go on stage or on the set, and they start sentences like, "Nice, yeah. Nice, huh? Nice, okay." Not to mention the British version, "Nice, innit?" Okay with that. And of course, finally, my favorite, that's just a promo, a kind of spoiler, going to future. I think this is the most colorful tense. I would like to rephrase the standard textbook version would say, "I am not going to stop in 4 minutes." Now there is an abbreviation included in textbooks, "I'm not going to stop in 4 minutes." Then we step outside the textbook and we have, "I'm not gonna stop in 4 minutes." Then we leave grammar completely. "I ain't gonna stop in 4 minutes." Then we weed out the unnecessary parts of the sentence, leaving "ain't gonna stop in 4 minutes." Then we return to the affirmative only to be much posh, saying "gonna stop in 4 minutes." But don't worry, there is a Texan version, for instance, "I ain't seen nothing." And there is a social media version of the same tense, NGL, not gonna lie. But the entire tense system is brought to perfection by artists, of course. I hope I don't have to present this guy. But he has a beautiful song in which he sings a very romantic piece, by the way, although I still focus on grammar when I listen to him, singing, "I'ma buy a diamond ring for you." But there is another band which surpasses Eminem, believe it or not, when singing, "I'ma be for 4 minutes and 20 minutes. That's the entire song, we have a feeling, and I couldn't count the number of "I'ma be's, but ChatGPT proves that it's more than 100 times. Okay, let's move on to the next stage. Probably you know that sometimes textbooks try to offer 2 versions, donut, and we are very happy to discover that American cops contribute to our English. Let's play a game in the last 2 minutes. You can stay where you are, and if I say a word, it's going to be British English, and you just raise your left hand with the British English word, then you change the hand for the American version, please. Number 1 would be taxi. Right hands in the air, please. I mean left hands, of course. Because I was thinking this way, so this is the left hand I'm thinking about. And if I say taxi, you would say cab. If I say lorry, you would say truck. Very good, probably. If I say underground, you will say subway. Perfect. If I say film, you would say movie. Very nice. The final one. If I say pub, you will say bar. Very good. You paused. Pronunciation. Only 2 examples. We can say British English fast, American version. Sorry, I forgot to raise my hand. Fast, American version, fast. British English can't, American English can't. Yes, and so on and so on and so on. Yes, let's move on. Pronunciation. Unfortunately, I cannot reproduce Indian English or Scottish English or Irish English, especially Brad Pitt's pikey accent, sorry. But I have a very good idea that my pronunciation is mostly categorized as Mureș English. And I'm quite happy with that, because I know near native perfection comes with you're either born English, not my case. Your spouse is native speaker, definitely not my case. Or you learn before the age of 14, which is once again not my case. So I did the math, and if we check how much we need in order to learn English in 5 years, school with the 2 hours, only 350 hours. That's on-the-record English, classroom English. Video games, according to research, 27 hours on average video gamer, so I never blame them when they sleep in the morning. But that's 7,000 hours. Binge watching weekend, let's take 12 hours, more than 3,000. So in 5 years, if you add other possibilities, then we get way beyond the recommended 10 hours a week, which is only about 2,600. How to stop? Anyway, my time is up. I would ask you to find the patience to discover the similarities and differences between your native language and English, to find the empathy you definitely need to understand your peers and yourself using off-the-record English versus teachers who use classroom English. And I'm very confident that language is among the very few things worth knowing, even at a very, very poor level. And anyway, a professional interpreter speaking 16 languages once said that when you learn a foreign language, basically you can never be victorious, but you can be a winner. I wish you to have that feeling of being winners, either in the stage of learning English or in the stage of using English professionally. And because my time is up, I'm gonna stop now. Thank you.